We're back again here on the Gravedigger Report. Jeremiah Graves, aka the Gravedigger, have a very special guest today by the name of Stephan Pierre from Albany State University. Can't say too much about this guy, man. I go on and on and on. Let's go ahead and add him to the show. Hey, Stephan, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. No complaints on this side, man. So I'm glad to have you on the show. I know that Albany State, uh, SIAC Player of the Year last year. And as of right now, you guys are doing great, on the football field. But tell me a little bit about yourself, just in general.
So my name's Stephan Pierre. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. To be real specific, I'm from a little community in Tallahassee called Miccosukee, Florida.
Okay.
It's like right before you hit Georgia. My mom raised me out there in the country. Country boy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was her and my stepdad. Other than that,
Other than that, no, that's great though. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. So, just from your mother and for your stepfather, and also, for yourself in the community, in that small town community, you're able to have, some definitely, some great goals, regarding yourself because you're at an HBCU as of right now. You're doing great on the field and off the field, and for your community, for yourself. Tell me a little bit about your community.
Mississippi, it's a very small community. Like I said, it's out there in the country. I grew up out there. It's a lot of things that go on out there, but like nobody kind of knows because it's like out from the city. Like the school I went to was 30 minutes away.
Right.
Lincoln High School, and there was probably only one person that made it out of Miccosukee. He went by the name Buck Allen. He actually went to USC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I know Buck.
Yeah, I actually know him because we both grew up out there and we were raised around the same people.
Okay.
So it kind of feel good, kind of like watching him like being who he was, and he kind of set like this big example of like what I want to make of myself.
Well, I think that you're following right behind, Buck, and shout out to USC as well too. They have a special, place in my heart just as well as Albany State. But for yourself, it seems as if, on the field there's nothing that you can't do. From when I turn on the film, you are sideline to sideline, just making plays. And just to speak about some of the honors that you did receive in 2021, you were first team SIAC. You were also SIAC Defensive Player of the Year, and you were also HBCU Game Day Division II Player of the Year. And that was all in 2021. Now, this season, as of right now, Albany State is doing well, especially on defense because of your defense as linebacker. Can you speak to that, for the listeners and followers and also for the viewers?
Oh yeah. As far as the rewards and stuff, I didn't really expect any of that coming into 2021. I just knew that we had business to do. Like we had everything in front of us.
Right.
We came up short a couple times because we've been in that championship position, but we never won it out. So everybody knew like the goal and what we wanted to do. And I felt like everything happened because like I feel like I put God first, and once I followed his path, he was like, hey, here's this, here's that, here's this. And then, it just started to unravel itself. Like I didn't expect all of that to happen in one season.
I definitely understand because for yourself, for you to have all those accolades last year into this year, you're still playing at an optimal level. It's definitely insane. When you turn on your film, you sideline to sideline, tackles in the backfield. If it's not tackles in the backfield, it's actually scraping over the defensive tackles to make tackles as well too. You're calling out plays. You just have that vision. Question: is the game kind of slow to you as far as being, defensive player, of the conference?
The game has definitely slowed down for me. I noticed that from coming in as a redshirt freshman
You're right,
until
right.
now, like game has definitely slowed down. It used to be so fast, especially coming straight out of high school into college ball. Like everyone thinks like, oh, just because it's D2 ball, it's not gonna be live bullets out there, but it's very fast. Like we can compete with anybody.
Definitely understood that. Definitely understood that. Now, for yourself, I know that you have a NIL deal. Can you
Yes,
tell us a
sir.
little bit about that? And that's great for you being a Division II player at a HBCU NIL deal. Awesome.
Yes, sir. The NIL deal, I had just received that not too long ago.
Okay.
That was kind of unexpected too because I did see like everybody was getting NIL deals, and I'm not the type of person to reach out, but
Right.
that specific company they reached out to me, and then they let me know how it worked, and you know just trying to put names on shirts and hoodies, and it kind of feels good that I can be able to do that.
Exactly. With you being an HBCU player, Division II NIL deal, I'm not surprised because I already know that you're going places. That's why you're on the Gravedigger Report. That's just the reality, and as this season concludes, I know that you are also going to receive honors just as well as you did last year. So I'm already calling it out as giving you, as a NFL linebacker sleeper, for this draft. I know that scouts are going to be, scouts have already been, in contact, or that they already have been, drooling over you as far as with, your frame. You're 6'2", you're 205, you pass the eye test, you run a 4.5 40 flat, legit. You play at the Albany State University, which is always great with their nickname, the Dirty Blue Defense. So, for yourself, I already know that you have a huge upscale that's going to be able to mobilize you based on your career moving forward. And that brings this question. How do you feel about this year's 2023 NFL draft?
Oh, I want to be in there. I definitely want that to happen. However I can get it. I know it's gonna be a lot of bowl games and stuff. Actually, I just got a letter from the HBCU Legacy Bowl.
Okay.
Actually, right before we started this interview, I got that
I'm not
letter,
surprised.
and I'm just excited. Like if I can get into the HBCU combine or the actual, combine, anything, I'll be ready.
That's what I'm definitely talking about, my man. That's what I'm definitely talking about. Now, just for your style of play, I know that you play linebacker, and there's three linebackers out there for the listeners and viewers and followers. Which linebacker position do you feel comfortable? Do you feel comfortable in the middle, strong side, or weak side? Or can you play all three?
I can play all three. I've been in all three positions before. I actually even played some nickel too, which is also on my film if you can find that. But
I will.
yeah, I know all three of those positions very well.
Okay, so sometimes you can play free safety.
Oh yeah, definitely play free safety too.
Okay, great, great, great. So give me a little bit of background about the Dirty Blue defense or what's taking place this season, because you guys are playing lights out ball. I know that during homecoming against Benedict, when I actually spoke to you and met you, that you guys had took that loss, but during that game, you still had that was your season highlight. You had 16 tackles in that game.
Yes, sir.
16 tackles on homecoming. And I know it was a heartfelt loss, but you still played lights out. And that's what defensive players of the conference, or should I say, defensive players of Division II, that's what they do. So tell me a little bit about, Dirty Blue defense, Albany State defense.
Albany State defense, we know we have a standard. It's been set in stone since way before I went there,
Right.
before you went there. Dirty
Yeah.
Blue is always going to be Dirty Blue. And once we're out there, we know, those are live bullets. Like you're flying full speed. It doesn't matter where the ball is. You can get on the ground. You got to get back up and you got to run to that ball. That's one thing we do. And we always hold each other accountable. Like right after the game, if we have any, everybody in the the country knows about Los.
Yeah,
Your coach is gonna go through all that thing. You're gonna watch every play. You're gonna see who's running, who's not, and if you're not running, you're not out there. So
definitely, definitely, definitely. So this week you have a test, and it's against Morehouse University. And the reason why I call it a test because I seen that it might just be a trap game. Nonetheless, Morehouse is a great school, and Albany State is great as well too. But you're down to the last two games, and I know that you and Albany State are looking forward to play in the conference championship because you guys won the conference championship last year. So with teams competing as of right now, how do you feel Albany State will be able to maneuver versus these two last games? And this Saturday, like I said, you play Morehouse, and then next Saturday you guys are going to finish up with your rivalry at the Fountain City Classic against the Fort Valley State.
yes, sir. We know when we go, we know when we go out there, we got business to handle. We know that every team that we play, we're gonna play the best team that or the best version that they have. It's been like that ever since we started this season. We knew that because Albany State has a big target on the back. Like they feel like if you can beat Albany State, then people are coming. That attracts viewers from everywhere. So we know that, and we know what we need to do as far as these last two games. And then, once we do that, we want to get into the playoffs and make a great run and win.
Right, right. Definitely, definitely understand. Now, speaking to you, how do you feel about being the best linebacker in the conference? Flat out. And that's just what it is. Flat out. For the last 2 years, the best linebacker in the conference, Stephan Pierre. Nothing else to say.
I feel like it's an honor. It's a lot of people out there trying really hard, and to be named the best linebacker in the conference, that makes me feel great. And that holds a lot of weight to me because I know that I have to represent our conference with the most or the best, ability that I can. So it's a great award or great name to have.
Well, I can tell you this that you definitely have done so, and you've done it in great fashion. And I also know that when the honors do come out this year, I know that your name will definitely be, at that top, as it was last year. And also, heading into this NFL draft, I know that we're going to have pro days that's going to be coming up in the spring. And with that being stated, you are going to be sought after as a top linebacker far as within this conference, but also within Division II football, and perhaps within BCS and also FCS football as well. How do you feel about that?
Just knowing that makes me feel great again. Like, could you repeat that again, please?
I stated that, for yourself, that you are the top linebacker in SIAC conference, and also perhaps more than likely the one of the best linebackers in Division II football. Going forward, how do you feel about that going into pro days that's going to be in the spring and after the season after you receive honors?
That gives me a lot of confidence, just knowing that I can be able to be named one of the best out of all divisions, and that gives me a lot of hope. Also, being able to just show my skill and what I have as far as being able to play at the next level.
Understood. Now, you stated that you received that email today from the HBCU Legacy Bowl, from the NFL HBCU Legacy Bowl. So that means you're going to be playing with top HBCU players in, all conferences. And how do you feel about that? We're talking about the SWAC, the MEAC, SIAC, and the list goes on and on. How do you feel about that?
That makes me feel very great because to be able to play with any competition, and just being like this small kid out of Mississippi, hey, I just want to put on for the city, my community,
Right.
and for my school. So,
Well, I can tell you this, just based on your stats, as of right now, you have 75 tackles, 51 are solo, 24 are assist. You have 4 sacks, and you have 1 fumble. And you still have 2 more games left, regular season games. And to predict, that you might be playing in the championship and perhaps going into the playoffs. So the stats are going to rise for yourself, and your stock is going to rise. Is this a test to your hard work and dedication, all the hard work that you did on the off-season workouts and things like that? We're talking about from the sweat, from the running, from the lifting, from not going out when you could, and things like that. Because I know the HBCU culture is definitely fun, and it's also about hard work as well, which I loved when I was at University of Southern California. Then I transferred to HBCU as well too. Can you attest to that because of the hard work that you actually put in? Because you don't get too many individuals who are walking around that are Division II Defensive Player of the Year as a junior, and then going into their senior year, they're still putting out numbers or better numbers, such as yourself.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's a great test, and it actually feels good that I can see the fruit of everything that I put in. Like some people, well, I feel like as long as you work hard and no matter the circumstance, like usually you'll get what you reap. You reap what you sow, and I just think that I just uh I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and you know what though, it's definitely yours, and it's definitely ownership of yours as well. Now, I know that you redshirted your freshman year. You changed your number from 47 to 30, or did Albany State do that, or was that to your likeness?
Yeah, I didn't choose 47. It just kind of came to me. I didn't actually. I don't even think I chose 30, but then I remember my head coach asking me, did I want to change my number one year once I got 30? And I was like, I started to, but then he was like, yeah, you could make 30 a legendary number. So then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, it's better that I stick with that. And then, if anybody else put on that 30, hey, they got to show out. So.
I think so. I think that number is legendary already. I definitely can tell you that. Now, as far as for yourself, for you to have a stellar season that you're having as of right now, moving forward, in your productivity, how were you able to train during COVID restrictions that have this stellar season?
Ooh, with COVID, everything was kind of strange. We had to do a lot of stuff, by ourselves. And
Right.
when we did come together, like everything was social distance. So, you just couldn't let that type of that type of environment. You can't let that change. You just got to keep working. It was hard, but you got to prevail.
Definitely understood. So there was a lot of social distance workouts, things like that, a lot of things that you did on your own.
Oh yes, sir.
I think that you were probably perhaps running those sand dunes.
Oh yeah.
You're running those sand dunes, and increasing because it seemed like you definitely have, because the 40 is there, and also the stats that are on the paper are there as well too. So your name definitely needs to be spoke about and heard. And I can guarantee you that with you going places, that we definitely would see you upon arrival, not just on the Gravedigger Report, but also in near future. What I can say, for yourself, is that not only have I seen you just be a leader on the field, but off the field as well too. Can you tell us on the Gravedigger Report a little bit about with how you are a leader, on off the field, as far as with Albany State campus, just in general? Because I know you're doing some great things. You're graduating, and in this coming spring as well.
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to set a big example for all my teammates and all the young guys looking up to me. When I came to Albany State, I didn't expect to, graduate and then go into my master's,
Right.
and that COVID year actually gave me a chance to go into my master's. So it feels great, honestly. And yeah, I just try to lead off the field by, telling the guys to do the right things, leading by example. Like, I'm not exactly the most talkative. So my
Right.
big thing is I try to lead by example, the way I play off the field. I mean, not off the field, but on the field, and then what I do off the field.
I definitely understand, because action speaks louder than words. Definitely understand that, Mr. Pierre. Now for yourself, we're going to go in and just, put it out there. You're going to have NFL scouts that are definitely going to be coming to Albany State. We look at the stats. We see everything that is taking place for you on the field and off the field. You definitely pass the eye test. You definitely have the character. If there's 2 words or even 1 word to describe yourself to an NFL scout, what word would that be? Or words, rather.
One word.
Or if you perhaps have 2.
2 words. I would say unstoppable.
Unstoppable. That's a strong word. That's a strong word. And you know what? That word mirrors yourself as an individual, and it also mirrors your defense for last year and and for this year, as you being the leader of the Dirty Blue Albany State defense as well, which is ranked as the top defense in the SISC conference. So, Stephan Pierre, from the Gravedigger Report, we wish you and Albany State nothing but the best of luck. And also, I definitely want to extend an invitation to where after you complete your pro day, we can have you back to see how everything is going and go from there. Okay, sir? You take it easy.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So that concludes another episode here on the Gravedigger Report. You can follow me, Jeremiah Graves, at gravediggerreport.com, or you can follow me on my Instagram, gravedigger_report on Instagram. Until then, eat oatmeal, lift weights.